I think I've grown I don't think I was bad at it at first, but the more you're around players, because they have different personalities, so you can't cookie cutter your approach. To me, relationships are time over time. It's like you spend time over time with someone, and that's how you build trust. A position doesn't give you trust. Just because I'm a head coach, that doesn't mean they're going to trust me. And so if you think that positions give you trust or give you respect, then you're going to be a poor leader.
Caitlin Clark didn't argue. She didn't react. She just stood up, and the entire gym went silent since this didn't feel like basketball anymore. It seemed like a breaking point. Moments afterward, a coach left the court. Phones came out, and whispers spread rapidly. This simply went way too far. Before this develops into headlines, like the video and comment, USA, because what you're about to hear explains why this moment frightened Team USA. Day 4 of Team USA training was never supposed to look like this. It was meant to be controlled, calculated, professional. Instead, it became the most uncomfortable session of the entire camp.
You didn't know, you know now. Caitlin Clark officially slams the door shut on Project B, unrivaled in all of these other leagues. She didn't hold back. She let it be known. I ain't rocking with none of these other leagues. We about to get right so I can cook in the WNBA. We got Paige Beckers fans being just so petty and bogus over one little shot she made over Caitlin Clark. And the thing is, you guys are making this award. Fans, this is what they want to see us for. All this other stuff is cool. We're not there for that. We here to see y'all play WNBA hoops, bro. Straight up and down. CC standing on business.
It starts with a rotation sheet. Nothing dramatic on paper, just a lineup tweak. Caitlin Clark is listed off the first unit for a controlled portion. No announcement, no explanation, just a bench. Caitlin notices immediately. She doesn't respond, doesn't complain. She sits, but the room feels it because this isn't about minutes anymore. This is about message. Practice begins, and something feels weird right away. The offense lags, spacing collapses, communication gets poor. Veterans try to stabilize it. They can't. Caitlin watches calmly from the sideline, eyes locked on the floor.
Conversation I had with her pre-practice was that this is going to be one of the most fun experiences she's had because everyone at this level loves the game, like a lot. And when you're growing up, in high school, not every player loves the game like you love it. And then you go to college and not every player loves the game like you love it. I'm talking about like the elite skill, the elite competitors. Then you get here and you're like, whoa, there's more people like me. And this is fantastic. So I just want her, just like all the other players, to enjoy the experience, enjoy being with like-minded people. And I thought she looked good, on both ends. And I thought, that she hadn't missed a beat, so I thought she looked good.
Reading everything. After 2 rough possessions, a coach waves her in.
She stands.
No rush. The energy shifts the second she checks back in. The ball moves quicker. Cuts occur. The game breathes again. First touch, assist. Second touch, hockey assist. Third touch, step back 3.
Swish.
No celebration, just silence. The bench tightens. Another possession. Caitlin presses speed. Defense scrambles. She draws from deep.
Swish.
Now it's uncomfortable because this isn't defiance. It's clarity. She isn't trying to prove a point. She's simply playing. And that's what makes it worse. A staff member stands. Another assistant whispers something. The head coach watches closely. Next pause, Caitlin is pulled again. This time the pause lasts longer. The gym goes quiet. Caitlin looks toward the bench. Expression calm but forceful. This isn't frustration. It's disbelief. Because when performance solves every question, what's left to debate? A veteran skips an assignment. Another shot rims out. You can feel the tension building. Caitlin stands again, this time on her own. No signal, no argument. She starts toward the scorer's table, then stops, turns back, looks at the floor, and sits down againly.
Immediately then in their very near future. And we wrote about that on the site, just like how people have been perceiving the negotiations and what still affects them and what they're thinking about with regards to the new collective bargaining agreement. But for now, just good time at camp. 3 days in North Carolina. A little snow on one of the days, just a little taste of the winter in the South. But yeah, it was interesting just to see what Carol Lawson is prioritizing in terms of how she wants to make her imprint on this program. And just fun to see the players in a live game situation again, because you think about Caitlin hasn't played since July 15th,
Yes.
There are 4 sparks of this camp. Their season ended on September 11th, right? So it's been a long time since any of them have really played competitive basketball. You still have some situations where Caitlin's stuck guarding Kelsey and Kelsey's, knocking her off the...
That's when the moment breaks. A coach walks off the court, not upset, not shouting, simply done. The whistle doesn't blow. Practice pauses anyhow. Players look about. Phones start vibrating on the sideline. Whispers spread swiftly. Did you see that? This is becoming ugly. Rumors start forming instantly. Not statements, not confirmations, just inquiries. Is this about minutes? Is this about control? Is this about Caitlin Clark upsetting the balance too fast? Because one thing is clear. Every time she touches the floor, the difference is evident. And that creates pressure.
The camp, and I want to particularly hit on 2 things that you wrote about, just Caitlin Clark being back on the court. You also got a quote out of Sue Bird about her being impressed with Caitlin just being engaged while she was out and getting back to being able to play. A little bit about what Caitlin looked like on the court, how much fun she was having, how important it was. And then someone else, Angel Reese on the other side, talking about Chicago. That was the article I was not expecting.
Yeah, so we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice.
Not just on players, on systems, on decisions, on egos. Another carriage joins the first near the tunnel. Low voices, serious looks. This isn't a tantrum.
This isn't a meltdown.
This is tension reaching its limit. Caitlin remains seated. Doesn't speak. Doesn't react. Sue Bird watches from the sideline, arms crossed. Finally, she says gently, "This is what happens when the game chooses faster than people do." That line falls hard because no one benched Caitlin for lack of performance. They benched her because of what her performance was forcing. Practice concludes early. That never happens. No huddle, no wrap-up speech. Players are dismissed. Behind closed doors, conversations continue. Not about quitting, not about lawsuits, but about fallout, about optics.
Thank you, Caitlin. This is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. I feel like I have been screaming this at the top of my lungs through all of the messiness that has happened over the past 2 seasons in the WNBA. You have a moment right now in women's basketball, and specifically in the WNBA. You have a boom that we have never seen in the history of this league. Do whatever you can to not mess it up, and they've already done multiple things that is shooting themselves in the
Describes what happens when one player's excellence pushes the timeline too fast. Caitlin departs the floor without a word. No post, no quote. Simply calm because she didn't need to say anything. Her game already did. And whatever comes next, meetings, announcements, spin, one thing is already evident. This wasn't about one drill or one benching. This was about control slipping. And when control fails at this level, everyone feels.